Welcome back to my series, Waste Less, Spend Less, where I am trying to get more creative in my kitchen, use up food scraps, and if you didn't already know that this is a series on my channel, you might be new here, so you might want to hit the subscribe button. I'm also just trying to cut down on my grocery budget in general. 2025 for me is a no buy, low spend. I'm trying to lower the amount of money I'm spending just in general because, as we know, the world is terrifying right now. Yeah. So in this series, my goal is to share a roundup of things that I have done throughout the month to get more creative, to spend less, to use up waste in my kitchen, or things that are going bad before they go bad. And this month, I think I have a couple really good tips. And the first one we're going to start out with is just over there. It's a little bit out there on the spectrum of things that I have tried in my kitchen, but I'm really excited to try it. So let's get into that. So over the weekend, I visited a little local farm and they were selling like garlic in bulk because it was already sprouting. I got a ton of it for $1, okay? That's why I bought it. I was like, I can do something with this. This is the cheapest I'm ever going to get garlic, right? So I came up with this idea to do something that I've wanted to do for a long time with like onion peels and garlic peels, and that is use my handy dandy all-in-one device over here to make garlic powder. So last night I sat down and went through all the bulbs. I pulled out some that looked perfectly fine. They were not sprouted, they were not browning, not any of those things. I froze some of them. I also put some of them in the fridge so that it's ready to go whenever I need it. But the ones that looked a little bit sussy, I just threw them in the blender, minced them up as fine as I could, spread it across a piece of parchment paper, and chucked it in here. It has now been dehydrating for I think like maybe 18 hours. It's on my lowest temperature setting. What I read said that I only needed to dehydrate it for 15 hours, but I wanted to be extra super careful and make sure that we got all the moisture out before we pulverized it into a powder. And it looks like this. Also, my house smells incredible. My house has never smelled so good. It's dry. She's dry. Okay, one thing about me, and I don't know that this is like a tip really, as much as it is like just how I do things. I try to buy kitchen appliances that have as many uses as possible for, you know, what that device is capable of. I technically don't have a food processor. I did thrift one and it's missing parts. So I have looked online to try to find the exact parts to the one that I have, but I just haven't. So all that to say, I just used my regular blender to mince this garlic and it did a great job. We're gonna use the same device to turn it into powder. It just has this different, I don't know what you call this blade. It's called the blade. And it's like a milling blade. I use this mostly for coffee beans, but you can also use it to turn your garlic into a powder. It's also why I would sing the praises of my dehydrator, because it's not only my dehydrator, it's a toaster oven, it's an air fryer, it does a couple other things too. I bought it refurbished, but I freaking love that thing. And we like rarely ever use our oven because of it, because it's a gas oven. I don't love that. Just random things I've noticed about my kitchen that like just make sense and technically save me money because I don't have multiple devices that essentially do the same thing. You know, I'm kind of terrified of doing the pour. Oh, okay, it's fine. This has got to be the most satisfying part of this whole experience. Okay, here we go. I don't know why that makes me so happy. That's so fun. Okay, here we go. I don't want it to get like hot in there and create any condensation, so just gonna... Let me pull you closer. This is actually so satisfying. I think we did it. We made garlic powder. Oh, that's the most garlicky garlic powder I ever did smell. But look at it. Stunning and beautiful, amazing, gorgeous.
Show-stopping, spectacular, never the same, totally unique.
Ah, I'm so happy that that worked. Now I know this would be much cooler if I grew the garlic myself, would be a much cooler achievement, but I've always been intimidated by growing my own garlic because it takes like 8 months to grow it, and I feel like taking up that much bed space for that long is just too much for me, but I might try it. If you watched my garden update video semi-recently, I talked about how my beds aren't getting really enough sun for fruiting, and since garlic grows through the season where like my trees would have dropped their leaves, garlic might be actually like a really good thing to put in those beds. It's probably not great for the audio. Look at her. So 50 cents for this garlic powder and a fun thing to try? I say yes. I'm here for it. If you've watched any of my videos where I talk about how I am trying to cook from home more, save money on groceries or any of those things, you would know that Thrive Market has been one of the absolute most helpful things I have been using because they have so many of my essentials for a discount. Like, I save money on pretty much every single item I order compared to other grocery stores. I've started price tracking, is how I know that. But I also have to thank them so much for being the sponsor of like this series of me learning to save money on my groceries, because it gives me an option to support a brand that actually cares about people and planet while also getting the same essentials while also saving money. It's a win-win for absolutely everyone. I was waiting on this order to come in because one of the things I want to make this week that is like my new favorite way to use up food scraps, which just helps me make sure I'm using up everything that I have spent money on, is sushi. So I had to get these sushi wraps. Aside from amazing grocery staples, Thrive Market also has some of the best like organic, high quality, healthy, natural ingredients, all those sort of things that you could be looking for. Also cleaning things. Baking soda, big essential in this house. They have supplements, eco-friendly cleaning supplies, non-toxic beauty items, organic products for kids, wine. They also had this non-alcoholic wine that I got. I made a sangria with this last summer and it was incredible, so I got this to do it again. If I'm trying to drill down on my savings when it comes to groceries, and I want to support an ethical business, and I can get all of the things that I love and need for that process, while also supporting a business that is B Corp certified, carbon neutral, and has a zero waste warehouse, I mean, I've said it before, but like, can it even get any better than that? Well, actually, turns out the answer is yes, it can get better than that, because if you go to the link at the top of my description, thrivemarket.com/ShelbyOrm, you can get 30% off of your first Thrive Market order and a free gift worth up to $60. We're gonna get into making sushi, but I wanted to give them a huge shout out for sponsoring this video and my channel. And when you guys support my sponsors, it really helps me keep making videos like this, which I hope are helpful for you. So check them out, the link in the description. Let's put these away, and then I'll catch up with you tonight when I am actually making sushi. One of the best discoveries I have made since entering this journey of being like hyper aware of food waste and just trying to minimize the amount of money I'm spending, has been sushi. Okay, hear me out. I feel like sushi is one of the most expensive things that people go out for, and as someone who eats plant-based, it's just a lot of times not worth it because they're putting like tofu and 2 veggies in a roll and charging you like 20 bucks. But honestly, that's not even where this idea originally came from. I just thought, I know how to make sushi. I know how to make sushi that I like that's actually really good because I'm custom making it. And then after I was making it for a while, I realized, oh, I could literally put like anything in sushi to use it up before it goes bad. Because if you think about it, as long as you have rice on hand and seaweed, everything else is like whatever you've got around. So making sushi rice in the Instapot, very easy, makes my life very simple. In previous episodes of this series, I've talked about how you should learn recipes that basically fit that mold, that have like shelf-stable things that can last a long time, and then you can just throw anything into them and make a meal out of it. Sushi is absolutely one of those things, and it's even good for things that are starting to go bad, right? Like if you have peppers that are getting wrinkly, you put it in sushi, it doesn't stand out as much. You have 1 or 2 carrots, great, chop them up, perfect for sushi. You can put squash, asparagus, kimchi, mushrooms, pickled anything, especially ginger, and you can make it however you want. Whatever your favorite sushi ingredients are, you can customize it. My favorite is air fried tofu. It is hard to find anywhere, and the couple places I have found it, like not even just in Austin, like just in general, it's expensive, okay? I do tofu, carrots, cucumber, jalapeno with a sriracha mayo. I make my own eel sauce, and it hits every damn time. I highly recommend it. So when you cut cucumbers for sushi, ideally you would cut off the guts of the cucumber. You don't keep the like very center of it because it's not crunchy. The texture is better if you cut the guts off. So the last couple times I've done that, I've saved this and tried different versions of mocktails, just trying new things and coming up with stuff. And since I got this from Thrive Market, I did use this to make a sangria last summer, like I said, but I think I'm gonna try to use this to make the mocktail right now. Hopefully it comes out good.
camera on. Said I won't say anything problematic.
Oh, do you normally just randomly say problematic things? I think all that was left from the cucumbers was like 3/4 of a cup of the guts, and then I added 1 juice of 1 lime, 1.5 teaspoons of agave, and then I just blended it up with a couple ice cubes, and I'm gonna put it over that non-alcoholic wine.
Ooh, that's good.
Are you lying?
No, I like it. It tastes healthy.
Sushi's ready on the table.
Let's go. Shit, hell yeah, a little date night or what?
Now, in the last episode of this series, I actually left you hanging on my strawberry top syrup. That's one of the viral food waste recipes that I wanted to test out within this series, and it definitely worked, but I didn't get to show you the finished product because I needed the syrup to cool overnight. And then I basically took some croissants I had left over from the pop-up coffee shop, and then some white leftover chocolate chips. We only had a few of them over on the shelves, and obviously I had strawberry top, so it was a completely made up on the whim recipe that I came up with from just things I had laying around, and I think it turned out really good. I made these because we don't have a welcoming committee in our neighborhood. I've kind of just taken on that role. So we walked over to the houses that recently transitioned and gave them the option between the strawberry top syrup croissants or my dry herb salt that I made, if they were a sweet or a savory person. And it was a big hit with all the neighbors, and I was so happy that I didn't have to buy anything new to still fulfill that role. And I thought in this video, in honor of testing another viral food waste recipe, we would try to make this vegan version of honey with leftover corn cobs. Honestly, corn is in season right now. It is so cheap, and corn, when you cut it off the cob but it still kind of sticks together, is my favorite thing. Like, it's one of my favorite things in the whole world. So we have the leftover cobs. We might as well use them and see if we can actually make honey. Oh, also there's a ladder in the living room because there's a cardinal nest just outside of that window. They left the nest a couple days ago, but while the nest was there, I could see them from the ladder. So the viral vegan honey corn cob alternative says that we should put 2 to 4 corn cobs in the water with 2 cups of water and let it simmer for, I think, like 30 minutes. So that's what we're gonna do. Then we'll add the sugar, and that's what turns it into like a full syrup.
Get in there, get in there. See it? Do you see it?
They keep bothering you.
Look how he sits on my hand. His little feet, going down.
I just strained out my corn. There's not even a cup of the liquid. We're being interrupted during this segment of the video because Tippy, if Madison is entertaining him, he's being a big baby. You could take him outside, you know. Take him outside, Mom. Oh my God, all the dishes.
Like this.
We did test it. It didn't work. So the thought of leaving this video off on a fail was causing me to lose sleep at night, so I decided to give it another try. I didn't even put the sugar into my last attempt because it was so bad, so I didn't really waste anything. I literally just simmered the corn cobs and then got rid of that water, so no harm, no waste, but I decided to give it another try. And you see that right there? That's the corn being stuck together that I said I love. I love when I get to put this in my little Southwest corn bowl salad thing. I've been obsessed with those lately. I've been making them with corn, so we needed more corn anyway. Fingers crossed this time it actually works out. Okay, it simmered on like the lowest heat I could for an hour, and what I think actually I'm noticing is the difference between this like attempt and the last one is that I know this about my stove. It's very hot. Like, even if I turn it to the lowest setting, it's still really hot. So instead of putting it on the appropriate size for the pot, I put it on my tiniest one. And looking at it now, we actually might have more than a cup of liquid, but I think that will be just fine. Let's just do what the next step is, which is to strain out the corn cobs and add sugar, lemon, and vanilla. Wow! How much liquid do we have this time? Is that 2 cups? Back onto the stove, we'll add the sugar. One of my subscribers sent this to me years ago, and I still use it like every single time I cook. It's just a spoon rest. All right, here we go. I'm scared. I'm always so scared of these things. Let me holding my breath. That looks a little nefarious. Okay, I'll check back once it cools. You're crying. We have a crying kitty on our hands, everybody. I cry, I cry. I just want to be outside. Madison keeps asking why there are corn cobs laying around the house repeatedly for the last week, and the answer is this. It's been sitting for a few hours, and she's gonna be our taste test person.
You didn't tell me I had to drink corn juice. What the heck is that?
You don't have to drink it. It's supposed to be like a plant-based version of honey. So what would you like to try it on if it's honey in this case? Do you want to make tea?
No.
The little pita thing?
Sure, yeah, that'll work.
Even though it has been sitting for hours, like, it's still not the consistency of honey. Right? In my opinion?
Stop.
Poor baby. You gotta show them. You're just doing it down here like we're not making a video.
Oh.
Now you're making a
I
mess.
spilled a little bit.
We are a bit overexposed here. The sun's coming through.
Oh. It tastes like corn.
Does it?
Yeah. It was Archie.
There's nothing corn-like about that.
Don't listen to her. She doesn't know. Her taste buds they were melted off as a child.
I'm not so sure that that's gonna replace the sweetener that I put in my coffee every morning, but it is a sweetener that you could try. Maybe it'll be good in some recipes. I'll use it in some things that I think it would be good for and let you know how they come out. But I'm glad we don't have to leave this video off on a failed note because we did successfully make the syrup. Okay, that's it for me in this video. I hope you got some new tips, some new inspiration, some ways to make food that can save you money and reduce waste. Remember, until next time, you cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good that you can do. Bye, guys.